Okay, Danny.
Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus today. Tacitus today, your pushback channel. Thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the inflation. This is something that really irritates and annoys me. The globalists have, through their policies, have willfully and forcibly inflicted price rises upon us, not only in various asset classes, but in the necessities of life, such as energy and food and so on, willfully forced upon us by the globalist policies. And then they say, oh, look at it, it's all natural and organic. To control this inflation, we have to raise the interest rates. What a load of nonsense. It's hard to sort of imagine a more outrageous set of lies and falsehoods than that. Now, we just need to look at inflation. When the globalists talk about inflation, what they mean is wage inflation. They're happy for outrageous runaway price inflation on things that increase their profits. That could be property prices, houses that were sold for $400,000 25 years ago are now selling for over $2 million. So it's 500% appreciation in just over 20 years. And the globalists are more than happy with that. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. They're quite happy with outrageous inflation of assets in things like share prices. That's fine. So we've got in companies where their profits declining and where the share trading volumes are falling through the floor, that somehow their share price is going up in leaps and bounds. And nothing artificial about that, is there? So in area prices where they can control it and artificially inflate it and use various devices and mechanisms to bring about that artificial inflation, which massively increase their profits. And I'm talking about, the black rocks and that sort of thing, or just a big financial end of town, or pharmaceutical companies. And pharmaceutical companies can always get the trade-off. If their price sort of falls, they demand in return that the sales have to go up by a greater amount, which then still delivers to them the windfall profits in the overall scheme of things. So the price rises that we've seen certainly since COVID, and that seemed to kick off the price rises in food and or part of the equation of the price rise in food. So the inflation in food has been, and again I talk about the essentials of life here. The inflation in food, even on the things that we have, like the real basics like bread and milk and that sort of stuff, even that's been 30 to 40%, and that's the entry level sort of no frills type of product. And you're still looking at the items like here. I was looking at an item of milk actually earlier today. It was $2.10 pre-COVID. It's now $3.30. So that sort of thing. And so we're seeing some across the board substantial price increases, and 30% is the minimum, and it's more like 50%, and in a lot of areas, particularly the more exotic stuff, it's 100 to 150% price appreciation. I mean, none of these relate to any real world scenario. This is all a centrally planned price rise, and it's internationally coordinated. So and they've related it to purchasing power, certainly by my mathematics at least. So purchasing power. So if it costs $1 in Australia and the purchasing power is lesser somewhere else, then it's 80 cents in that other place. But as a proportion of purchasing power, it's the same. So clearly we're being herded like cattle into a corral here, in order to fit in with an international pricing structure. So, and then you look at the energy prices. Again, this is all artificial. Across the Western world, we're all going to die from climate change, and so these outrageous impositions on reducing the amount of energy available, then clobbering the energy we do have with taxes and creating shortages, and all of this artificial, whether it's the Nord Stream pipeline or just stopping stopping the pumping of oil and digging coal out the ground. All of this increases the price of the essentials of life, and this is something that is again happening all over the Western world simultaneously, which again is proof that it's centrally controlled from downtown globalization central, and they're giving the instructions to all these Western governments, which are now no longer are now nothing more than just a bunch of little hick-ass flunkies running around doing as they're told, but getting waterfront mansions as rewards in return. So none of the inflation we see is natural and organic. None of it is natural or organic. But because the prices are increasing or have increased, then there's now pressure on wages to increase. And this is what the globalists mean, because wages. Because if they can make sure that they make big money out of share transactions or property or handouts, subsidies for these bullshit fake energy schemes, that's profit. That's a river of money coming in through their front door. But wages are a cost to them. So when they say inflation, they mean that. It's not the outrageous price increases of property that makes them money. Increases wages doesn't make them money. So when they talk inflation, that's code speak for increase in wages, which is why the interest rates are going up, because the globalists want guaranteed no risk, zero risk profits. To do that, you have to increase the interest rates so that our assets, can be our assets become of greater, not sale value, but we can get higher returns on rents, things like that. We can put our money in the bank and get a return on it, that type of thing. So wage increases threaten that. So the interest rate increases are the globalist response to wage increase pressures. But it goes to show you how curated and artificial everything is. Nothing's organic. Nothing is to do with market forces anymore. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.